you're headed in the right direction. You've affiliated with an agency. You're looking at the comp plan and you're saying to yourself, well, I could probably do better. And my advice to you is you're there, sell a couple of houses, focus on what's important, which is building your business. And then after you have that experience over the next whatever year or 6 months or however it takes to sell 3 or 4 houses, then you can then you'll know more. And then you can make a decision about what the next step is. Maybe this is the right agency for you to be at. And it would be premature to kind of just start all over again at some other agency. Forget about the agency that you work at right now and just grow your business. So no one's perfect. The grass is always greener on the other side, but none of that matters right now. The only thing that matters is, can you sell houses or whatever you're trying to do with your license? Focus on that. Forget about everything else. Well, thanks for calling. I'm glad you did. Well, she was so nice.
What did she say?
She took my continuing education or something like that, and now she is thinking about changing agencies, and I was like, don't change agencies. Just stick with it. Wow, I got a lot of emails. Just stick with it, and then put some points on the board, and then worry about changing agencies later. Please don't hang up. Click. So let me introduce you to the new addition to the office. It's a stationary bicycle. There it is. Got kind of the base model. It's a Schwinn, or Schwinn. And it's a Schwinn. And why did I get it? And why is it so close to the desk? Because it is pretty close. It's actually pretty close to the light. That's because I want to be able to get on it and look at the television. So, Fox News. See, the whole idea with the bicycle is to save time. I usually go to Planet Fitness, but what I figured out is that it takes 15 minutes to drive to Planet Fitness and 15 minutes back. I do that most every day. But there are some days that I never leave the house except to go to Planet Fitness, which means on those days I waste a half an hour driving. I do that like twice a week. So that's like an hour that week completely wasted. And if you do that every week for a full year, I wasted 52 hours that year just driving to and from the gym. That's like almost a whole work week, right? So I said to myself, why don't I buy a basic stationary bicycle, which does have a price tag, but it's also significantly less than a full work week. I basically gained a full work week by buying a stationary bike, so I don't have to drive back and forth. And today, for instance, I never left the house, did my workout, never left the house, and I gained that extra time. It was only a half an hour, but it was more efficient, and I can use that time to work or relax. I can do it for a number of different things. But over time, over the course of a year, that's a lot of time I gained, and I guess gas and all that stuff, but gained time, which is my most important asset. So I like to ride my bicycle. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Real Estate School. I'm your instructor. Today is lesson 3, broker class lesson 3. Thank you so much for joining us. It's exactly 12 noon on January 28th. January 28th. Thank you so much for coming today to broker class. And if anybody wants to hang out here and ask me a question, comment, or concern, happy to do it. And I'm glad you were here today. Thanks for coming. This is Jack. Good morning, John. How are you today? Thanks for calling on time. Well, let's talk about your options. You say you have a broker's license, not a salesperson's license, right? All right. So that gives you a lot of options that that salespeople don't have. And those basic 2 options are: A, you could affiliate with an agency just like any salesperson and be an associate broker. But you could also, I don't know if you've thought about this, you could also operate what we call a sole proprietorship, which means that you're the broker and you keep 100% of your deals. The protocols, I get it, right? And I really think that after maybe doing like 3 or 4 transactions, you'd be up to speed. I don't think it's going to take you much. Some things have changed, obviously, but some things haven't. And I think it would be once you do 3 or 4, I think you'd be like, oh, I can do this. Now, because things definitely have changed in the last 20 years, there's no doubt, but some things are still the same. So here's how I do my business, and if this works for you, then great, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. I run basically what is a virtual agency. I have my office in downtown Boston, but like people don't go there, just me, for the most part, because everything that I have is on the internet as an asset, usually on YouTube. Now, that doesn't mean that we wouldn't meet in person. Like just on Friday, I had a listing. I met one of my agents, had his first listing appointment, and so I went with him on Friday. So I do that type of support as well in person, but most of everything is on the internet nowadays. And your phone's the office, as you know. So that's kind of how I do it, as opposed to, say, like Keller Williams, who definitely wants your warm body in their office, or Coldwell Banker, who's like definitely wants that. So there's all sorts of different ways to go. The thing that I think that really caught my ear with what you said was that my office, I don't have a presence there, which is true, but don't worry that these other offices do, because almost none of that matters either. The only thing that matters is what type of presence do you have. And in that way, I mean this in the nicest way possible, it almost doesn't matter what brokerage you work for. I mean, it will on the back end to you, but it's not going to matter to the client. They don't care whether you work for Acme or Smith or Jones. They don't care. That might be the biggest change from when you were an agent back in the 90s, where people did care. Think more, oh, you work at that agent. Oh, okay, we because that agency has the big office on Main Street. That change has been huge. People don't care where you work for. I'm totally interested. It would be great to hire somebody that's already, been in the business. Absolutely. Sure, 3 o'clock's great. Looks like I have a scheduled phone call at 3:30. So can we do 2:30? All right, we'll see you Thursday at 2:30. You got it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.